Hello, friends. So it's Australian Open finals time. It's world number one Sinner versus world number two Zverev, and both players are playing really good tennis and have reached the finals today. So they'll get equal amount of rest before the finals. Even though Zverev's match, because it was cut short due to the injury retirement from Djokovic, so Zverev would have gotten some extra rest. Now we'll talk about all of the key factors, the head-to-head record, as well as the predictions. So let's get started. Now, talking about the head to head, it is actually quite surprising that it has been in favor of Zverev. So Zverev leads the head to head. But if you see the previous meetings, so 2024 in Cincinnati, you can see the match was pretty close. Okay, so it was a three setter, and all the three sets went to the distance. Few points here and there, and Sinner was able to win the match. But if you look at the Grand Slams, so 2023 US Open, Zverev was able to win in five sets. Then, if we talk about 2022, again, it was clay. So let's not talk about play at this point of time. But then US Open again in 2021. So Zverev has had a lot of victories against Sinner, which would mean that he is definitely capable of winning the match on Sunday. But at the same time, we need to look at the most recent results. And even those show that Zverev is playing well and has troubled Sinner, just like Alcaraz or Djokovic. So I feel that he'll definitely have chances. But one thing which I feel is key is the fact that Zverev is playing in a Grand Slam final. Now, all his victories, if you see, are either quarterfinals or round of 16. So it doesn't have the same pressure which he would be facing in the final. And for Sinner, he would be relaxed because he already won this tournament last year. He has made a great start again. He's playing well. So I think pressure wise, Zverev would be under a lot of pressure, not from anyone else, but from himself because he desperately wants to win a Grand Slam and he hasn't been able to do so in the previous two attempts. So that would be a key factor. Now, looking at the other things, right? So, number one, Sinner's fitness. So, as we saw even today against Shelton, he was struggling in the third set with cramps, and that's why he started playing more aggressive, which everyone does, whoever is facing any injury issues, and he was able to close the match in three sets quite comfortably. But that just shows that there are some issues going on. We saw his match against Runa as well. He was struggling, he's unwell, and maybe he's not injured, but he's definitely having some physical issues. And if the match stretches on Sunday, if it's a four setter or five setter, and if there are long rallies, then that may be something that comes into play and would favor Zverev in that scenario. So something to watch out for is Sinner's fitness, and I think Zverev would try to lengthen the rallies as much as possible, but at the same time, he needs to not use the same pattern of play that he used today against Djokovic. Because against Djokovic, let's not forget that he clearly knew that Djokovic was not feeling well. He was injured from the past match, and there were doubts whether he would even compete in this match or not. So he had a game plan. And second of all, the way the both players play, right? So Sinner has got so much firepower in his game, whether it's the forehand or the backhand. He goes big and he takes time away from the opponents. So if Zverev just tries to chip the ball back in the middle of the court and just wait for Sinner to miss, that's not going to happen. Sinner will just rip the forehand, backhand, and close the point. He'll hit outright winners. So that's not a strategy that Zverev should apply. However, Zverev, what he could do is use slice a bit more often and change directions, just like Djokovic was doing today against Zverev, right? So if he uses that slice, just to change the direction and get himself better positioned in the point, and then be aggressive with either his forehand or backhand, whatever he wants, and then he has to go to the net and finish the points. I think that should be the strategy that Zverev should apply against Sinner, not just trying to wait for Sinner to miss and hope that Sinner's fitness would be an issue and then he gets a win that way. It's not going to be possible because Sinner is going to play aggressive no matter what. And if he is facing any physical issues, he would get even more aggressive. So the only way that Zverev can stay in the match is by being solid from the baseline. Maybe he doesn't need to go for winners often, but he needs to be solid to elongate the match, elongate the rally, and then when he gets a chance, he can go to the net and try to finish off the point with a volley. So Sinner's fitness is an important factor. The second one is Zverev's first serve. As we all know, there have been some issues with Zverev's second serve in a lot of important matches. There comes a few patches throughout the match where he loses the rhythm on serve and misses a lot of first serves and makes double faults, right? That has improved significantly, and his first serve has also improved. So it would be key for him to make as many first serves as possible because he has the speed, he has the accuracy, and he has the forehand and backhand. He can attack. His backhand is usually the more favorable shot for him. So if he can make a good first serve, get a weaker reply from Sinner, he could control the point with his backhand and then go to the net and finish the point. So first serve key for Zverev. Zverev's backhand down the line, that is also going to be a key because if he just engages in backhand to backhand cross court rally, he is not going to be able to get too much out of that pattern of play. And the reason is Sinner is so consistent from the back of the court. He has such a good preparation for the shot that it's hard to see him make too many unforced errors out of both wings, whether it's forehand or backhand. Plus, he hits with a lot of firepower, so the rallies are not going to go in Zverev's favor. So I feel the backhand down the line, just like Djokovic used against Alcaraz, that is important to change the direction and keep the point on level terms. I think the way Shelton played today against Sinner in the first set, that was really impressive, and that is something which Zverev should watch. The ground strokes, the slice, the variety that Shelton brought onto the table in the first set really troubled Sinner, and he created a lot of opportunities. So something similar, maybe Zverev needs to try. Just throw in a slice here and there, change the direction, change the pace of the ball, but be solid from the baseline and not, go into a passive mode. So backhand down the line, key. Now, the fourth point and the final one is the experience at Grand Slam finals. Now, this is a huge factor. Let's not forget that Zverev has been in a couple of Grand Slam finals and he hasn't been able to get through that final hurdle. I think both matches have been five setters where he had his chances, but in the important moments, he hasn't been able to, you know, pass the finish line. So I feel again that thing would come into his mind definitely if it gets close. If it's a five setter, if it's 3-all, 4-all, then those things would come to haunt him. And I think that's what he needs to be prepared for, right? So it's basically the mindset. What we have observed in his previous matches, those two Grand Slam finals, is that he hasn't been decisive in those key moments. He hasn't gone for winners. He maybe gets a bit passive, a bit hesitant on those shots, and that helps the opponent because most likely his opponents would either be Alcaraz or Sinner or Djokovic. So these players don't miss those too many shots on those important points, right? So it's key for Zverev to take the matter in his own hands, try to win the point rather than hoping for the opponent to miss. And because of his experience at Grand Slam finals, I think this is something that he should try to change in terms of his mindset to go for broke and try to win the match rather than just hoping for Sinner to make misses or unforced errors. So that would be something which would favor Sinner at this point of time because he has got good amount of experience in Grand Slams. He has been able to win a few as well, and this surface also suits Sinner. It's a hard court where the ball doesn't bounce too much. It's slow as well, so it gives Sinner a time to prepare for his shot. That works for Zverev as well. The good thing is that the match would be played in the night, so the conditions would be slower, which favors Zverev in a sense that he needs some extra time to prepare for the shot. If you rush Zverev, then especially on the forehand side, then he tends to make a lot of errors on the forehand. So something for Sinner to look out for to attack the forehand of Zverev, just like Djokovic was trying to do today. And if Sinner could apply a few more slices, and just disrupt the rhythm of Zverev. That would be the strategy for Sinner. But I think he's playing too good. If he is fit, he would have many more chances and opportunities against Zverev. So, prediction. Now, as you can all see, the key factors, most of them are in favor of Sinner, and he's playing well. So, I would go with Sinner probably to win in 4 sets, and that would be the prediction from my end. I really feel that it's Zverev who has to change something in his mindset, the way he approaches the match. He has to come out firing. The first set is very important for Zverev to give him that confidence and that belief that he can finally get through the hurdle. And once he wins the first set, that could also cause some confusion or some concern in Sinner's camp if he because the match could then go for 3 hours, 4 hours, and that may cause some burnout or stress for Sinner. But if Sinner wins the first set, I think he it gives him more confidence. He can be more aggressive, and then the finish line looks even farther away for Zverev. So first set is the key, mindset is the key for Zverev. But I think overall Sinner has better chances to win. So this is the analysis, guys. Thanks for watching.